Hello.
Hello, my name is Noah Liu, and I'm going to be doing my project on the role of language in the life of immigrants. My thesis is as follows. Even though language can be hard to learn because of things like phonological interference, it is extremely important in the life of immigrants because it allows them to form their own individual identity and communicate with the people around them. I'm going to be interviewing my friend from Taiwan who is a non-native speaker of English.
Hello, I'm Stan Hong. I'm 19 from Taiwan, and I've studied here for 4 years now.
According to the Migration Policy Institute, there are around 358,000 Taiwanese immigrants in the U.S., which makes up for around 0.9% of all the immigrants in the U.S. People from Taiwan have been immigrating to the U.S. for a long time, and the Taiwanese government estimates that more than half of all Taiwanese immigrants live in the U.S. Again, according to the Migration Policy Institute, Taiwanese immigrants are twice as likely to receive a bachelor's degree than native-born people or other immigrants. However, it also says that a large amount of them have limited English proficiency.
So what languages do you speak and how fluent do you think you are in them?
I speak English, Chinese. I'm pretty good in Chinese. My first language is Chinese too.
According to Preston, understanding folk attitudes toward ways of speaking contributes to our knowledge of how speech can influence educational success, housing opportunities, and job opportunities, which are all fundamental parts of a human's life. And because of this, it shows that language is a large part of developing one's identity because it can also develop one's social status, economic success, and other things. Oftentimes in the U.S., Asian dialects can carry a derogatory connotation, and this can lead to symbolic domination.
Okay, so what attitudes do you have about your native language?
Mm. I'm pretty proud of it.
And what life events do you think could have affected this?
In my dorm, my roommate always want me to teach him Chinese.
However, in this case, symbolic domination does not occur, and he's able to maintain his national identity as well as his pride with his language. An often debated issue is whether English should be made the official language of the United States. According to Battistella, English-only rhetoric incorrectly assumes that today's immigrants refuse to learn English and that official status is an effective means of fostering identification of the culture.
Do you think English should be the official language of the United States?
Yes,
Why do you think that?
because everybody speaks English, and even though I'm Asian, and I still want to learn English, so that's why I come here.
But what about the people that are already old and past their critical period, so it'd be harder for them to learn English?
So first you have to ask why they want to come here. Because they want to learn English. Because English is the international language.
From this case, we can tell that foreign assimilation will not be a problem. This is because some of the immigrants themselves want to make English the official language. In addition, this can further imply that the desirability to learn English has not been lost and that immigrants still want to learn English. Oftentimes, immigrants may have trouble communicating at school or at work because of the fundamental differences of their languages.
Okay. Have you ever had any linguistic difficulties, like learning language at school or at work?
Yeah, yeah. Well, every time I feel confident with my paper, and well, I got back my paper, and there's full of red circles, because the grammar sentence structure is different between English and Chinese, and sometimes I have a hard time to pronounce the letter L.
The reason he may have difficulties pronouncing certain words or with grammar is because of phonological interference. This is because Chinese has a completely different letter set than English. In addition, the sentence structure and grammar is completely different. The reason he may have trouble pronouncing L's is because the sound does not exist in the Chinese vocabulary, but in English it does. Oftentimes, phonological interference can lead to accents, and accents can often lead to exclusionary actions or racism. This just once again shows how important language is in the life of immigrants because it affects the way that they interact with other people around them.
Have there ever been instances where you used code switching, where you switched from one language to another?
Yeah, so every time I talk to my girlfriend who's living in Taiwan, and I want to share my experience to her, but I can find a word in Chinese, so I'll use English instead.
According to Lippy Green, language is incredibly flexible and responsive. We make or borrow what we do not have. The use of code switching by immigrants show the development of bilingual identity based on their language. In addition, it shows that the immigrants are slowly adjusting to their new country and their new environment. In conclusion, I believe that even though immigrants have their own languages and want to sometimes maintain their own languages because they're proud of their own language, it can be a good thing for the United States because it adds individuality to every single person.